Okay, well, here she is. Finally done. As far as the grinder itself goes, frame's done. I've still got to build the tool rest and a belt guard. I'll just kind of give you an overview of it and show it to you running. Here it is. It's all, the main frame of it is 2-inch 3/16 wall square tubing. This is the same stuff that would fit inside like a receiver hitch on your truck. The pieces for the tool to fit in are 1.5 inch 3/16 wall. My pivot for my tracking is made out of this same material, the 2-inch. Like I said before, my backing plate is from Oregon Blade Maker on eBay. You can see a link to the description on my first video. The wheels, these are 2-inch. I think it's a 3-inch tracking wheel, 4-inch drive wheel. All are also from Oregon Blade Maker. The motor is a 3/4 horse, 1725 RPM. And I got these step pulleys to where I can speed it up or slow it down. I've only been running it on the highest one. You can see I got an on off switch down here. This is how I did my belt tension. And there is just a heavy duty hinge welded in here. Actually, it's welded to this, and then just bolted in the standard motor mount. I'll never run it on this speed, but you just lift the motor whatever speed you want, and the weight of the motor actually holds the belt tension, which is why I want a belt guard. If something happens, I need to shut it off in a hurry. I don't want to slip and end up losing a finger in there. Sorry for the shaky camera. My spring is I believe it's a 26 pound. Let me go around here. It's a 1-inch by 7-inch. It says safe working load 18.8 pounds. It's just from Lowe's. I wanted something to where I could easily replace this if I ever had to. And what else? For my first video, I changed how I was going to put the platen on, and did end up going on the right side of the backing plate. Just because with it over here, I would never be able to grind something close on this edge. So I moved it in to the inside, or right side, whatever you want to call it. And then trim down this edge to where it's just right behind the belt. And I can adjust the belt over flush with this side just by adjusting my tracking. Which I just used an old, I call them, wheel off an old gate valve. So that's pretty much it. It's got a 5/8 keyed shaft. I threw a couple pedal blocks for my drive. This is just a piece of scrap 1/4-inch plate I had laying around. We'll use it. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's just an old, that's an 80 grit belt that I've been using for some of my other projects quite a bit here lately. And you can make a, I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, you can make a nice bevel on anything you need to weld in a hurry. And I was worried about the motor being just a 3/4 horse, because everything I've read, everybody says you want at least a 1 horse. So far I've been able to bear down on it and not have it slow down at all. And the motor hadn't slipped any. Pretty happy with it. I'll show you a couple other things I did. To change your belt, a tracking adjustment. Let me get you guys a little better picture here. Also works from a handle, pull down, remove your belt. Pull your tool out. Holder for it down below. That way, if you, I've got plans to put a 6-inch wheel on a different holder, whatever you want to call it. That'll give you storage for it. And then for my tool rest, I've got another piece of that same 2-inch square tubing. And I'll have another pipe coming in, come up around, and have a piece of a 1/4-inch plate. And that will be the final video to this series once I get the tool rest done and my kind of a better view of the pedal block setup. And the reason I did it like this, instead of a lot of guys that I've seen, I'm sure there's many that I haven't. Anyway, a lot of guys build this plate larger, turn their motor 180 and have it sitting out here, running back to this pulley. Bailey, stop. I didn't do that because I wanted to save space. I didn't want a grinder, you know, it was huge. I wanted something to where I'm not using it. I can take it, stick it in a corner, and not worry about it. And that's another thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put some casters back here on the back where I can just tip it back, get on that wheel, roll it to wherever I need to go. You can see it kind of wobbling. My garage floor's got this nice crack in it that makes nothing level. One other thing I want to share with you guys, like I said, some of the parts that I did buy came from Oregon Blade Maker. I can't say enough good things about that company. No, they're not paying me to say anything about them, but when I was after I painted it and was putting things back together, I over-tightened one of my bolts and ended up messing up one of my nylon spacers that came with the tracking, or with the wheels. And it actually kind of got into the shield on the bearing. I contacted them, asked them if I could buy a couple bearings and spacers from them. He said, hey, no problem, and just put them in the mail for free. Anybody that would do something like that for a guy that doesn't have any relation with them, I really appreciate that. Anyway, just wanted to throw that in there.